patrons. This is your bonus episode where we get to talk about certain topics like the top 8 list, Fireside Chat, or versus chat, like what's the better movie, Bill and Ted versus Wayne's World. When you subscribe at the $5 tier or the star-centric tier, you get to vote on the topic each month, and you cut this out, pardon.
Okay. This month, we're going to do a fireside chat about Matrix Resurrections. I am Sandra. The last was Sass. And he is the Tom to my Tiff, Nate.
Don't add. Read the script. I'm doing fine. What about you?
Not bad.
Excellent.
Tired.
Well, just wanted to,
My microwave crapped out.
Nobody cares about the microwave. Stick to the script.
I do. You asked me how I was doing. That's how I'm doing.
Gotcha. Just wanted to get a little time for everybody to have a chance to sit down and watch Matrix Resurrections before we chatted about it. It's a pretty dicey topic according to the internet. Some people like it, some people don't like it, and that's what we're going to talk about this fourth
There's
Matrix.
no difference than any other movie they do then.
Yeah, I mean, it's what happens when you talk about sequels and reboots and spin-offs. Yeah. You never know what you're going to get. You're either going to get a gem or a dud. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Our thoughts on what we thought about Matrix Resurrections.
Oh, Nate, what were your thoughts and impressions about this fourth Matrix movie after 19 years and the second sequel?
I enjoyed it. Enjoyed it quite a bit. A little confusing in the beginning.
I know.
Another reason why we sat down and watched it a second time before we decided to tackle this and took some notes. What about your first thoughts?
Yeah, I was the same. Although the first time when we watched it, I was like, they're just redoing the first movie, like almost line for line. And then they did those 2 lines. And I was like, okay, it is line for line. And then it clicked.
Yeah.
That, oh wait, they're rewatching something. They're, and I forget, it was later in the movie when I picked up on it. So, but yeah, me too. I enjoyed watching it. I liked how they integrated all the other movies and characters. They brought back some of the characters from the first trilogy.
Yeah.
So.
Guess you can't call it a trilogy anymore. You had a fourth one. Now it's a saga.
Now it's a saga.
Now
it's a quadrology. I can't say it. Quadrology.
Just say saga. It's easier.
Yeah.
Matrix Resurrections released in theaters and HBO Max on 12/22/21 with a running time of 148 minutes. Rated R. I think they could have gotten away with PG-13 in my opinion.
Yeah, and there were only, I think, 2 F-bombs.
2 F-bombs.
That I remember. And, that means nothing anymore. Every other word that people say this day is an F-bomb. I don't know. There was no sex scene, so.
Yeah. You mean, are you talking about unlike Reloaded, right? Was that Reloaded? Yeah, Reloaded.
Yeah.
And Trinity, when they're talking about bringing down the house in Zion.
Yeah.
Let's see, directed by Lana Wachowski. Screenplay written by Lana Wachowski, David Mitchell, and Alexander Himon. Scored by Johnny Kilmick. How do you pronounce that?
Well, if you spelled it right, it says Klimek.
Oh, there you go. Klimek. Budget of $190 million. And we're currently at $140 million. So, kind of missed the mark there.
They're kind of.
But I did find out that the subs for HBO Max outnumbered Disney Plus in the month of December. So.
Although, I wonder if those numbers are partly to blame because of COVID. People can't go out as much.
Yeah.
public
Plus,
places.
it came a week after Spider-Man No Way Home, and that's been killing it at the box office.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's all about timing. Before we kind of go into what we liked and what we didn't care for about the movie, I just wanted to ask you what your thoughts about Jonathan Groff playing Smith or Agent Smith.
Agent Smith? Yeah. I think he did pretty good. I mean, I could tell at some parts he was trying to mimic Hugo's
classic,
facial expressions
or
and
classic
mannerisms
from the first one. Yeah.
But he did. I think he did try to make it his character too. So
like
the same but different.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, I'm with you. Overall, I enjoyed his interpretation of Smith when he was trying to, like you said, mimic or say the classic lines. It was just falling a little bit short. Hugo Weaving was supposed to come back, but due to a scheduling conflict, he couldn't make it back. So, and from what I read on the internet, how reliable that is, Lawrence Fishburne wasn't even asked.
Wow.
So, talking about Morpheus, what were your thoughts about Yahya Abdul Mateen II as Morpheus?
Yahya. Well, I was going to say one more thing about Hugo.
Okay.
Or not Hugo. Smith.
Yeah.
The actor that played
Jonathan
him.
Groff.
Yeah, him. He was, at the end of the trilogy, Agent Smith had evolved.
Yeah.
So this could also be portrayed as part of his evolution.
Yeah, but they resetted the Matrix, so
right.
That's why.
But
that's why one could say you had a new Morpheus and a new Smith, and
yeah, but he had still become something else.
True. Even in the movie they showed when Neo was looking in the mirror, he, when he saw himself in the mirror, he saw him. But when other people, they saw an old, grizzled, dude. So.
Yeah, that was trippy. He almost looked like an old DiCaprio. But anyways, who are we talking about now? Yahya
Abdul Mateen II as Morpheus. Yeah.
Again, it was an evolution thing because like you had said, they reset the Matrix, so it kind of makes sense that he's gonna look a little different. If they're trying to make it the creators of the Matrix are trying to make it look the same yet different.
Well, how do you think the actor?
But the actor portraying him
that Lawrence Fishburne did in 3 movies.
I think he did. I mean, I think overall, all the characters did good at portraying who they were supposed to be. Ones that were different from the original actors.
We're talking about new characters. What about the Bugs' character, played by Jessica Henwick, which she had some roles in Game of Thrones.
Yeah. I liked her character. She was, I liked how, and this might have been some symbolism, when she's plugged into the system, she's got blue hair.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of blue popping up everywhere.
Well, yeah, most people know.
So I don't know if that was part of
most people know about the blue pill and the red pill. The blue pill, you stay in the Matrix. Yeah, I mean, even we're going to be talking about Neil Patrick Harris' character, the analyst. He was wearing his
blue frames.
Blue frames to let you know that, and the pills that Neo kept to keep him, under, I guess, control. Blue pills, Yeah, I think she did a pretty good job. I liked her character. Kind of reminded me of Morpheus's character in the first movie, trying to hunt it because she was hunting down Neo, or looking for Neo, and she came across, Morpheus playing an agent in a modal in a program.
Yeah.
It was like layers on top of layers in this movie, which once again goes back to the like the first 15-30 minutes is so confusing. Once you watch it and you rewatch it, that first 15 minutes makes way more sense the second or third viewing than when you're coming right out of the gate on the first viewing. Since we didn't have the architect like we did in the second Reloaded and Revolutions, what did you think about Neil Patrick Harris's character as the analyst?
He is such a wide spectrum actor. You know, he can play any part.
Oh, yeah. And well, he was in another like holiday movie, 8-Bit Christmas, which I thought he did a great job in.
You know, he's a good guy in that one. Yeah. You know, not really so much as a good guy, but he can play either side, you know, good guy or, you know, villain, or, you know, he played Count.
A womanizer, like in How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, you know, Count Olaf and Lemony Snicket.
Yeah.
The series on Netflix.
Yeah, I think him as an actor, he's proven. I think he can cover a large spectrum.
Right. He's not typecasted.
Yeah. I think when I first saw him as Doogie Howser, I'm like, he's gonna be like typecast into this slot hole, but he's got a lot of theater and Broadway singing in his background, which he's presented with the Golden Globes or the Oscars enough times. So yeah, he's So yeah, he's got a large range, so you can't pigeonhole him into certain things like certain characters.
Right. Yeah.
Certain not characters, actors.
Actors, yeah. I was gonna say no, I forgot what I was gonna say.
You want to jump on to Jada Pinkett Smith as Niobe?
I almost didn't. Well,
yeah,
I almost didn't recognize her, and only because I knew she was in it. And I knew
we were looking out for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one actor or actress, I should say, that was in here that I think you made me aware of, but did not know where she was until we looked it up after the movie was done, was Christina Ricci.
Yeah.
Who, to me, when you told me who she looked like a young Michelle Pfeiffer in the brainstorming room sessions.
Yeah, she had such a small part.
Yeah, I mean, they could have just cut her out. She didn't need to be there. I don't even know why she was there.
Yeah, she was, insignificant to the story. I don't know. Circling
back around, people not being in the movie but should. Did you miss Lawrence Fishburne?
Well, yeah, of course. I did, but, you know, again, I mean, they did mention him.
Yeah.
You know, when Niobe was doing her whole backstory of, you know, how the new human city.
Yeah.
So.
He could have. I think that if you had cut. The funny thing about Jada Pinkett Smith's character in the Matrix trilogy is she pops up as almost I wouldn't say a nobody, but you're trying to figure out where's this backstory history between her and Morpheus, and she just seems to come out of the blue. And unless you played the video game Enter the Matrix, which gives a lot more backstory to Reloaded, you're like wondering what's going on. And I think, you know, one of the reasons why, you know, listen to various podcasts lately, why Reloaded and Revolutions might have suffered a bit is because the Wachowski siblings had so much going on. I think it was like the first Matrix movie to me feels a lot like the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie. They wrote a great script, they did it, and it just took off like wildfire. And, you know, Disney, Warner Brothers in this case, is like, okay, we want more movies. So, okay, but they decided to do, you know, 2 movies back to back, plus this video game for more backstory. And I think comics were involved. So you had all this stuff going on. So I think it did suffer the quality of Reloaded and Revolutions suffered quite a bit. And that's why so many people love the first one, but are not big fans of Reloaded and Revolutions. And what I've stated on my opinion about my, I don't want to say tolerance, but entry level or of being entertained is like when we did our our episode on ID4 was in Resurgence.
Oh, Resurgence.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, over there, check that out. I just, you know, my I guess I'm just so easily entertained. I mean, it's got to be really, really bad for me to really, really
Ator.
not like it. You know, Ator. So, but even on our review on Home Sweet Home Alone, I mean, check that episode out. I enjoyed it for what it is, but if you want my deeper thoughts or about the movie,
why don't we move into likes and dislikes?
Gotcha. Pros and cons.
Pros and cons, whatever you want to call it. What'd you like about the movie, Nate?
Well, fun fact or tidbit which I found out by listening to another podcast about this movie. The actor that plays Tiff's Trinity's, husband, Chad, is actually the director of John Wick and also was Keanu Reeves' stunt double in the first 3 Matrix movies.
Oh, nice.
And his real name is Chad. So,
well, there you go.
Nice. You got one?
Yeah, I liked a lot. I like how they had I guess you'd call them cameos of characters from the first 3 movies, especially the Merovingian.
Yeah, that's one.
And he was still saucy as ever.
Yeah,
bitter Frenchman.
Yeah, that his cameo for me, it places in what I like and what I didn't care for.
Yeah,
I liked seeing him because even though with he looked like the guy in the father in History of the World Part 1 who was in the cage because the king had him locked up. But once he started talking, it's like, oh, it's he looks homeless with a beard and he was
I know.
He had gray clothes. He was clean shaven.
Yeah.
Like a true Frenchman. And then here he's in what I don't like about it. He just starts raving like a freaking lunatic, just spitting out random words.
And
it's just like, so like that's like, like that he popped up as a cameo.
Yeah.
But him being a lunatic was.
Some of the gibberish he was spouting off was like, I don't know, their subtle way of kind of spitting at social media. I don't know if that was their intention, but that's what I thought it was really funny. But I really liked that they had him in there, and I again like going into it, I knew he was in it. I just didn't know how they were going to work him into it.
I don't know. So for me, it was a complete surprise. Yeah, another character they came in for a little bit bigger of a cameo role was Sati, the little girl. Unfortunately, when I looked it up, not the same actress that played her in. Oh,
it wasn't?
Nope.
Oh.
Nope.
Wow.
Different act, but close enough, I guess.
It was really close. Yeah.
Maybe she's not. Maybe the original actor. Maybe the original actress isn't in the Screen Actors Guild, and who knows. But yeah, I liked how they brought her in, especially during the montage in the movie where Neo's going through the repetition of work and eating and coffee and whatever, and they show her a couple of times, how she's kind of keeping an eye on him, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Some things, you don't pick up on the first viewing, but but as piggybacking off that, I also do like the fact that Neo, Trinity, Morpheus, Smith, and Niobe are all back in here. I don't know if the movie would still work if those key players, whether they're the same actors or not. I don't know if it would work, but I mean, that's what you're going to go see,
Yeah.
You got another like?
Yeah, I do. I liked the part in the movie when Neo and Bugs, they walk into the room where he first met Morpheus. And if you looked in the background, they had the first movie playing.
Yeah.
That scene in the, but they said, this was the game that he had written in, as his rebooted self.
Yeah, yeah.
So I liked how it was a connection to the first movie.
Yeah, I think they did a very good job of having little flashbacks or what was going on in Neo's head when they're showing certain scenes of the first three movies, you know. So I thought they did a good job with that. Um, Another thing that I liked and didn't care for at the same time, that this movie's, it feels like it's a slow burn movie, which I like and don't like.
Mm-hmm.
But it felt like, I know the first movie was kind of the same way, but it just felt like this one was a little slower of a burn than the first Matrix movie that came out in 1999.
Yeah.
Got any more likes before we head on to
no, you know,
things we didn't care for?
let's go into that.
Okay. What's your first one you don't care for? I'm sure I got one that I'm sure I've already stated, and you might agree with me.
Go ahead.
The first 15, 30 minutes, on the first viewing, it's just you're
like, what?
Yeah, it's like you
Like,
recognize you know,
the scene.
Abdul Mateen II as Morpheus, but he's dressed as an agent, so you're like, what the hell's going on? And it's almost a shot for shot remake of the first 15 minutes of the first Matrix movie, except for, you know, there's something changes on the roof, you know, so you're just you're trying to piece it all together, and you're going, what? But
what is going on? Yeah.
Yeah, well, it definitely, upon the second, third, fourth viewing, it makes much more sense. But the first viewing, it can confuse anybody. One character,
that was 5 minutes, just that.
One of the characters that it's like I was kind of like not hot on the first viewing, but watching it the second time, he started to annoy me.
Jude.
The Jude character.
I think that was the purpose. That was the point.
Yeah. Well.
For me, one of the things, it was the first time, both times that I've watched it there, and I don't want to give too much away for those who haven't seen it yet, but towards, you know, the end, when they're not really the final battle, but when they go into the swarm mind, the hive mind, they go, the swarm starts coming after them, and the analyst has them jumping out of windows and killing, you know, turning themselves into bombs and all that. The jumping out of windows was disturbing for me because it made me think of 9/11, when people were jumping out of the Twin Towers to basically, you know, well, you know, you're not walking away from that, but, you know, that's where my mind went, and I didn't care for that. I know that's probably wasn't their intention, but
yeah, this version of the Matrix is a lot different. I mean, it's sort of like Matrix 1 is like DOS, and then the current Matrix movie is more like the current operating system, Windows operating system, you know. It seemed like it was much easier for the agents or the analysts to hack into other people a lot quicker. Everything is, I'll go back to one of the things I liked was, like, unlike the first movie where they needed to find a phone to go in and out.
Yeah.
For some reason now it's mirrors.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that, but I guess that, I mean, there's hints of Alice in Wonderland and Alice Through the Looking Glass.
Yeah,
you know,
they're subtle,
very subtle. So I mean, that's clearly Alice Through the Looking Glass reference, you know.
Yeah.
You got any other dislikes?
I don't know if it's really a dislike, but and you know, this may have gone back to when we were talking about Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah.
The scenes where he's like a therapist.
Yeah.
Was disturbingly realistic.
I think he nailed it. He did. Really nailed it.
He nailed it, because I'm just sitting there going, oh my God, I feel like I'm in one of my therapy sessions.
Well, when we first watched this, he just, it's like we knew, okay, he's the analyst. That's all we knew. Is like, how does he work into this movie? Is he the replacement of the architect and everything? But he made his role so well because of his role in the Matrix itself. He was keeping a close eye on Neo and Trinity, which you find out later. So for him to pose as
you find out why.
Thomas Anderson's, aka Neo's therapist, because he does look like, I think Keanu did a great job pretending he's like, am I losing my mind? Because he's having all these like flashbacks or these memories that he don't know if they're real or not, and then they just said, well, you have an active imagination, you made up the Matrix game, and so
he's invalidating his
so he's keeping him in check. And then towards the end of the movie, where Neil Patrick Harris's character, the analyst, really shows his hands on who he is and everything, it just blows it out of the water. And the funny thing is when you watch it a second, third time, because what his character is capable of and what it's trying to do, when you first see him, when you rewatch it, you're like, man, you're just keeping Neil in check, So
do you need more pills? Or prescription?
The whole brain, for me, one of the things I didn't care for is the whole brainstorming session in the big room, and they're using all the key words from the first Matrix movie and over again. It just like, I didn't care for it the first time, and when we rewatched it the second time, I liked it even less.
You're like, yeah, no.
But for me, there's more good in the movie than these annoying little things. And I'll just quickly piggyback on that. There's a post-credit scene, and on the sequel-centric scale, I would just tell you to ditch it. Just ditch it. It's not worth sitting. I mean, if you're watching it on HBO Max and you want to see it, fast forward it. But in my opinion, it's not worth it.
Think about those that sat through the credits at the theater. They got that little gem.
Because we're trained now because of Marvel and Disney, because of the Marvel movies, stay to the end.
Thanks a lot, Joss Whedon.
Any other things you didn't care for about the movie?
No, not really. I had more likes than dislikes.
I agree with you. I have listened to a few other podcasts that I listen to, and some of the other podcasts are kind of split. It's kind of interesting just listening to people who just think this movie is the worst out of the four, which I can understand. I mean, and I keep going. I keep circling back around to Pirates of the Caribbean because like Keanu Reeves, he is Neo. Like Johnny Depp is Jack Sparrow, and in my opinion, I think the fourth Pirates of the Caribbean movie, for me, it's not my favorite. It's at the bottom of the Pirates movies and so I heard from other people. Sorry, didn't mean to diss your boyfriend. For me, it's hard when you get this many movies into a franchise, unless it's a movie like Harry Potter where it's based off of books and you're just building, you're risking stuff. And even, I'm sure, Fast 9 is, I heard it was good, but, not as good as 4 and 5 because Paul Walker's not in it. So, I mean, the longer...
Well, they really can't help that.
The longer a series goes, you can have like The Man with No Name trilogy. That's 3 movies with Clint Eastwood, and it's a classic. And
you gonna make me watch those now?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's like the Back to the Future.
Is he singing?
It's like what?
Does he sing?
No. Paint your wagons. No. But Hollywood is so geared up on, which it states even in this movie, sequels, reboots, remakes, and
I like how they did their subtle stabs at Warner Brother.
Well, yeah. I don't know if that was Warner Brothers doing it to themselves or Lana Wachowski doing it to them.
Yeah, whoever was doing it, I thought it was very clever.
Well, it was in our January episode of Tidbits, that we said, like, Warner Brothers was going to do this movie, with or without Lana Wachowski. So,
Mm.
you know, some people believe that the reason why this movie is hot garbage is because she tanked it on purpose as a giant middle finger
Mm.
to Warner Brothers. I don't think so, but
I don't either. Everybody to their own opinion.
yeah.
So,
Any last minute thoughts?
I think we pretty much got them out.
Okay. When I was watching this, I you know, because the Neo Trinity, that such a powerful couple in this movie, made me think of another power couple in another franchise. So I was wondering, in your opinion, who makes the better on-screen franchise couple, Neo and Trinity, or Anakin and Padme?
Neo and Trinity, I would say. Anakin and Pat kind of, to me, felt forced.
Well,
but then, you know,
I would say
that's another episode.
True. Well, when they first met, he was 9, she was 14.
Yeah.
You know, once again, I always thought, before they did the prequel movies, I always thought him as he was 13, 14, like, you know, how Yoda said in Empire Strikes Back, oh, too old, like his father. We're at the training.
Yeah.
So.
But, okay.
Okay. And, you know, the machete order in Star Wars.
Yeah.
My opinion is you could watch, in machete order, watch 4 and then 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
This is, yeah.
I don't know if I would, but.
You could almost watch this movie without watching the other 3 and follow it for the most part. It's like, okay, there's a connection between these, you know, he's trying to find her. There's a connection, stuff like that. You know, I think everybody's who's never seen the movie or seen the original trilogy, you're going to get lost in the first 15, 30 minutes anyways. But, I'd be curious to meet anybody who hasn't seen the first 3 and watch this one first.
Yeah.
See what their opinion is. But if you've been around long enough, because, you know, for the longest time before this movie came out, oh, The Matrix, you got to see The Matrix, The Matrix, The Matrix, the first one.
I know, yeah.
The Matrix is, like, you know, groundbreaking special effects at the time and kung fu action and stuff like that. Even though this is a fireside chat, how would you rate it on the sequel centric scale?
So first of all, does it sequel? Yes. Because
for you,
yeah. And I would rate it, you know, being that I enjoyed the rest of the series.
Yeah.
I would say watch it.
Just watch it.
Watch it or stream it. Yeah. I mean, me personally, I would.
Well, would you?
I would probably buy it because I have the other 3.
Gotcha. Yeah, I would tell anybody to at least, you know, watch it. You know, if you know someone's got the HBO Max package, you can borrow it. Watch it. Is it? And I would only say if you like the Matrix franchise, like Sandra and I would tell you straight up, you know, buy it when it comes out on physical media or get HBO Max.
Yeah,
because you get all that extra stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Patreons, I hope you enjoyed this bonus episode of Fireside Chat. Post your thoughts or how you would rate it, sequel-centric style, down in the comments below. And don't forget, when you subscribe to the $5 tier, the star-centric tier.
Starter-centric. Oh, yeah. Sorry, never mind.
I was going for if you want to vote.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Don't forget, if you want to vote on what the next bonus episode next month is, you got to start at the $5 tier or the star-centric tier. So be on the lookout for that. Don't forget about the challenge that we posted that goes to the end of March to upgrade your tier for just 1 month. And if you go from 1 to 5, they get you 3 votes or entries, and you get to vote on the next bonus content. So until next time, we will see you.
Bye, everybody.